Good morning, everyone. You are with Amanda. I'm Amanda, and this is Amanda's Inspiration Station. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I am going to show you today two really cute cards for our weekly Wednesday. I'm kind of on a card kick right now, and I think these cards are absolutely adorable. And we're actually going to use a stamp set that actually was a carryover. And it is currently in the annual catalog. It actually came out last year with the holiday catalog, and it carried over into the annual catalog. And that's where you will find that today. I really like this stamp set. There is a reason why it was carried over. It's super cute. It's called Harvest Hellos. It actually at the time was a bundle. And it comes with the apple builder punch, but I don't really want to call it just an apple builder because it's also a pumpkin. It does pumpkins and apples. Now, this does not come as a bundle anymore. Both are currently in the annual catalog, but they are sold separate. They are not sold together as a bundle for 10% off. They usually only do that when it's brand new. If it is a bundle that's being carried over, then it's no longer 10% off and sold like as a bundle. It's sold separately. But we are going to use these today, nevertheless. And we are going to make, first of all, this card here with the apple, and it just says give thanks. And then we are going to make this card right here that says, hey there, pumpkin. I think it's cute. I am totally itching for fall. It's no surprise for those who know me. Fall is my favorite time of year. The colors are beautiful. I love pumpkin everything. I love apple everything. I love pumpkin patches, and I love going to apple orchards, and I love decorating for fall. But then I love it too because I know Christmas is right around the corner, and I love Christmas. It is truly my favorite holiday. So fall to Christmas is like my favorite time of year. I don't mind summer right now because I have a pool, and my kids and I and my husband, we've been swimming a lot this summer. However, it's not really that warm out anymore for our pool. I mean, it's like warm and then it's not, warm and then it's not. So I know that's coming to an end. So what's around the corner? Fall. So we're going to make these two cute cards. We're going to start with the apple one first. And I'm just going to set that aside here. And I already have my pieces basically cut out for you so that we don't have to take the time to do that. The card base is 5.5 by 8.5, and then it is scored at 4 1/4. And I have a piece of Whisper White here that is measured at 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to actually put that on the inside. So that way, when you're stamping a sentiment inside there, or you're writing whatever you want to write in there, you can clearly see it. So I'm just going to put that in there. This is going to be what we're going to use to stamp our apples on. So we're going to set that aside because then I have a couple other pieces here. I have this piece here, which is our 6x6 designer series paper, and this is the Regals. So this one came in the Regals. And actually, I did the same thing on this card too, and this came in the Regals too. This color that we're using for this card is the Crushed Curry. This color that we're using for this card is the Cajun Craze. Okay, so we have that piece. We're also using two of these, and this is from the Stitched. Give me a second. I can't think of the name of it. Stitched Nest Frames, I think. Well, now I feel terrible that I'm sitting here on video and I can't even remember the name of it. But this shape right here comes from our Tasteful Label dies. And that comes in our new annual catalog. Well, it's new to me still. I know it came out in June. The Stitched Nested Labels. So these are the dies that we're going to use. So that's what we're using for that. And then I have some linen thread. And I've already, here's the linen thread. I've already made bows, but what I did was I just layered it up so that it was like 2 bows into one, but I already did that to save some time. And then I just grabbed a piece of scrap white paper. This measures, I want to say it like 3/4 of an inch. And I don't even know where my ruler is, but it's 3/4 of an inch. And then this is about 1.5 inches. okay? Now what I used, you can use your scissors to go up and cut this little angle, but I actually used the triple banner punch. I just used that, okay? So first of all, before we even apply this stuff on, we need to do our background. So what I did is I just took the soft suede and I used the apple stamp, and I'm literally just kind of making some apples kind of all over here. Okay, and then we'll do like one more on the side here. All right, I am going to rinse or wipe that off because we're going to be using that again for our apples. So I want to make sure that I get that all cleaned because that's right now just our background. We're just doing that as our background. Okay, I'm going to do this so that I don't have paper. Now, I do want to do my stems. So I have my little stamp here for my stems. And I'm just going to kind of do my stems and only do my stems where really you can see. Like clearly we can't see on those ones. So we're not going to do the stems on that one. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set that aside. All right. And while we're doing just our stamping, let's do all of our stamping first and then we'll put our card together. So I'm going to take out my little piece here. I'm going to take out my crushed curry and I am going to stamp the give thanks, and I'm going to kind of angle it. I do want it angled. All right, so we have that. I'm going to set that aside. All right, now we do need to take this piece because I'm going to do the little apple seeds, and I'm just doing them in Memento. I used the Memento because we're going to be using the Memento for the apple, and since we're going to be using our blends, our Real Red combo blends, you want to use the Memento ink pad instead of using the StazOn. Memento ink pad will make it so that it does not smear. Whereas if you use your StazOn, so we have Memento and then StazOn. If you use your StazOn, it will smear. It will like bleed into it. So you definitely want to use your Memento when you're using any type of marker or blends. So that's all that is for right now. So we're going to set this aside. So let's just kind of set this aside and let's get out our stuff for our apple. Okay. So we need to stamp the apple and the slice of apple. So let's get out our Memento and I'm just going to place that on the back of here. I've already cleaned it up and I'm going to stamp this image. And I kind of stamped it sideways, which I meant to, but I meant to turn the paper. And the reason why is because we're going to use the punch to punch it out. Okay. But let's color it first. Let's stamp first, color, and then we'll punch. All right. And then we'll have this piece, which is the slice. Okay. So let's put that away. And the colors I'm using today are the Real Red blends, and I am using both. I'm doing the combo because what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline it in the red, the dark red, sorry. Hello, they're both red. So we're going to, with the slice, I'm just going to, and I'm using the finer tip, not the paintbrush tip. Whenever it's like a small area, I would recommend using the smaller tip. You can have, it's easier and you get more control out of it. So I'm going to outline this entire apple with the dark Real Red. Okay, so we're just outlining right now. Which is funny because this is the way I used to color when I was a kid. Whenever I wanted my coloring book pages to look a little bit special, I would outline it really dark. And then I would go in and with the same crayon, I would color the inside lighter. And it always just gave it kind of that little bit of that different look than just coloring it straight. All right. So apparently my creativity started back with coloring books. I did color in the dark over the little lines here. And now I'm going to do the light. And now because I'm coloring the whole inside, I am going to use more of the brush, and I'm just going to kind of circle in. I'm just going to kind of circle it. All right, that's all I'm doing. Now, I am going to take my color lifter. This is not an eraser. This is just a lifter. And what I'm going to kind of do is I'm just kind of gently going to go into a little circle kind of right in this area. And I'm just going to lighten the apple up just a little bit in that area. Just because I want it to look more, and I lightened it a little too much, which is fine. That just means you just go in and you kind of add your color again. I'm just basically kind of wanting it to lighten up a little bit. I want to give the apple a little bit to make it look more real. Is what I really want to do. Okay. So now we're going to use our apple punch or our pumpkin punch, and we're going to do this. Now I am kind of close up to the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim off a little bit of this so that I can get right in there perfectly. And I'm just going to punch that out. Okay. Now with this one is fussy cutting. You are just going to have to fussy cut this apple slice. It's not that bad though. You're just going to follow the natural line of the apple. And you're just going to go like this. Okay. I'm going to get all this out of the way because we do not need this right now. But we are going to color in that seed. So I'm going to take the dark black blend and I'm just going to color in that seed. Okay. All right. Now we do still need, which apparently I don't have a piece. I'm going to grab a piece of that because I do want to make sure that we have the leaf. We are going to need a little green leaf, which I am using the old olive. So I'm just taking a piece of little scrap paper here and I'm just going to punch out the green leaf. And then I also have a piece of early espresso and we're just going to punch out the stem. Okay. So now I am going to use my mini glue dots and I am going to apply the stem and the leaf on the back of the apple. So we're just going to go like that. Same with the leaf. We're just going to go like that. Okay. And then I am going to put dimensionals on the back of these because we're going to pop them up. So I'm going to put them on. All right. So now that we have all that, let's start applying our card. Okay. So I'm going to put this flat. Remember, this is that 6x6 designer series paper. That's so cute. I have it in every single color. That's like always one of the very first things I buy from the annual catalog when I get it, because every year they change the pattern. So the colors are always the same because they come in our same color category, but every year they change the pattern, and that's just something, it is such a go-to of mine. I just love it. So I do that. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to place this over top, like overlapping it. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my apple, and I'm going to kind of angle my apple a little bit like that. And I'm going to put a dimensional on back of this because I like dimensionals. I do. I like to use them on pretty much everything. So I'm going to kind of tuck that under because I don't want to see the edge of that. All right, so I'm kind of tucking that under. And then, of course, I got my slice. Got to do my slice, and I'm kind of overlapping that. And then I got my bow, so we're just going to use the mini glue dots for that. And we're just going to place that at the top. And voila, give thanks. You have a cute card. There you go. I like it. I like that card. Okay, so now let's move on to the pumpkin. We did the apples. We're going to do the pumpkin. We'll set that aside over there. And then we'll put our pumpkin here. So this pumpkin base, we are using crushed curry. Oopsie, hold on. My pieces kind of all fell in my basket here. I have a basket next to me and, well, I made a mess. All right, so Again, we have a centerpiece. Well, first of all, our card base is the same. And this is generally a standard card base. The envelopes that are sold in the Stampin' Up! Catalog that are very vanilla and Whisper White, the standard envelopes. Same with even the clear envelopes. These are the clear envelopes. These are standard to a card size of 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. Now, this does not mean that your card always has to be this size. You can always make your own envelopes. You can always, you know, we do carry 3 by 3 envelopes, but you can always do different things. These are just like the standard size of a card font, of a card. So, again, I have my Whisper White to go on the inside. That measures 4 1/4 by 5. No, 4 by 5 1/4, sorry. 4 by 5 1/4. All right, and we're gonna stamp, this time we're gonna turn it this way, and now we're gonna create our background, but now we're gonna do pumpkins. And I am going to do the pumpkins in the crushed curry. All right, so we're just gonna we just kind of want them all over. We're just kind of giving it like a little background here, maybe a little corner there and a little corner up there. All right, voila. Now, I am going to clean off that part actually though too, because we are going to use the pumpkin again, and we're not going to use it in the crushed curry. We're going to use it in the pumpkin pie. So we're going to need to make sure that I get that all clean. There we go. All right, so there's our base. So again, we have this same shape, which comes from the Tasteful label dies. Again, comes from the 6 by 6 Regal paper, and we're just going to go ahead and we're going to set that aside there. Okay, now we have another piece like this that's from that Stitched Nested, and this time we have a little piece, which I dropped all my pieces, so hold on, I can't find my little, oh, there it is. There's my little piece too that's going to say, hey there, pumpkin. So let's go ahead and stamp that. We're going to stamp, hey there, pumpkin. Voila. All right. Now, I'm going to just kind of lay this kind of where I think it's going to be, because I want to do the green, which is the old olive, little curly thingies that actually come out on pumpkins. So I'm just going to kind of go like this. That way I just kind of have a general area of where I know that that's going to end up. So I'm just going to set that aside, okay? Because now we need another scrap piece of white paper, because we're going to do our pumpkins. And I have my white. So now we're going to, this time we're going to actually stamp our pumpkin in pumpkin pie. We are still going to use the pumpkin pie. Jeez, I'm having a hard time speaking today. Blends. But we're really only going to use the light. So I have, when you purchase them, they come as duals now, like combo pack. Give me a second. I'm going to take a drink. I feel like I've cotton mouth today. All right. I need some water. Thank you. So they used to come separate. You used to be able to purchase them as a combo or separate. Now they come just as a combo. But we are only going to use the light, because we don't need to do the dark because we stamped it in pumpkin pie. So now I am just going to use like the painter side, and I'm literally just going to color in. So we're going to kind of color in. All right. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to punch that out with our punch. All right. Now I do want another stem for my pumpkin. So we're going to use this scrap piece of paper again of Early Espresso. And we're going to get that. And again, I'm just going to take my mini glue dots. And we're going to place that on the back there. So it's a little pumpkin. All right. So now all three of these are going to need dimensionals. So we're going to flip them over because we need dimensionals on all of them. I mean, if you like to pop your things up, I like to because, again, they're called dimensional. They are called dimensionals for a reason, to give it dimension. But I kind of like that look. Sometimes I like it when things are flat. And then other times it just gives it that little bit of oomph, that little 3D look that you just need. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place this onto my card like this. Okay, I'm going to place my pumpkin right there. And then I'm going to place this in there where it tucks in between the two stamped images of the green. All right, and there you have it. They are not hard cards. That's one thing that I love about them. Oopsie, I forgot something. We forgot to put our little twine on here. Well, we can't have that. All right, so our linen thread, baker's twine. There we go. All right, so I just took one stamp set. I created 2 different cards, an apple and a pumpkin. Both cards, though, I did a background on, so it gave it a little bit of a background. Both cards I used the same thing, of the same dies. So it's showing you different ways you can use your product, and I love that. So if you are interested in this and you would like these cards as a make and take, today is Wednesday, September 2nd. The 2nd already. It's just crazy. My daughter turned 14 yesterday, and she is my firstborn. Greenlee is her name. And I still, to this day, I posted this on Facebook because it really is true. I remember the entire time I was pregnant with her, everyone kept saying, oh, enjoy it. It's going to go by so fast. And, you know, in the beginning, I was like, oh, how sweet. And then by, 9 months, I was like, oh, stop saying that. It's not going by fast, because at the time, all I kept thinking was pregnancy. She's in my stomach. But I think they meant like being a mom, like her whole life is going to like flash before my eyes. And it's sad. And I might even tear up a little bit right now because I think to myself, wow, my daughter just turned 14. It's like, whew, that did go by fast. Like, slow down, please, because I don't have that much more time with you until you're off to college and, living your own. So I'll always be there for you. But yeah, it's going by very fast. So, got a little side note, a little nostalgic thing on that right there. But it does go by fast and you have to embrace and enjoy it. So today is already September 2nd. And even with COVID, this year for me has gone by fast. I so many different challenges, blessings. I do feel there's been a lot of blessings this year for me, even with COVID and even with the world being as crazy it is. But yeah, so it's just flown by. Before you know it, we're going to be in 2021. And I'm hoping that, we can just look at things more positive. So because it's September 1st, this week and next week's Weekly Wednesday projects, if you are interested in them as make and take sent to your home, you can just visit amandasinspirationstation.com. And if you place a minimum order of $35, which this will be attached underneath the video using a certain hostess code that is attached, you will also then get an email sent to your home you'll get an email sent that will be a printable tutorial, and these will be sent to your home. Sorry. So, plus next week's Weekly Wednesdays. So it's a nice little make and take project. You can do it on your own. That's the great thing about that stuff is if there's something that you want and you want to purchase it and it's been on your wish list, purchase it while you get, free tutorials and free make and takes. That's to me is like a win-win. You can, when you're at home, you can do it whenever you want to do it. So it's on your time. Okay. So again, all the information is right below. And if you ever have any questions, just let me know. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I would love, if you love my videos, to subscribe to my channel. And if you just went to my blog, I would love for you to sign up for my emails. I do every 2 weeks post out a newsletter that tells you kind of like all Stampin' Up! News or news that is going on with me with events and classes. So if it's something you don't want to miss, it's completely free on both ends. You just have to put in your email. Okay? You guys have a great rest of your week. Happy September. And I will see you next week. Thanks. Bye.